Ben, how are you going?
Fantastic. Hey, Stefan.
Hey, how are you?
Good, good. I've been calling you Stefan all these years, and apparently that's not even your fucking name. Is that right?
That is
Who the
that
fuck?
that, that
Who the fuck are you, man? Is that why we're having like this whole, um, you know, like live feed thing? It's like this mystery man. Who is
uh
Stefan? Is he Stephen? Is he Stefan? Is he Stefan? Like, what? How do you actually
hey,
say your name?
well, I sort of tried to go through that yesterday, and like I said, I think I've even tried to run through it with you guys as well, and it's not a name that's meant to be pronounced in Australia, but my real name is Stephen, and even just saying it like this, it sounds it's I know.
For
So
a big, strong, masculine man like you, Stefan sounds very.
yeah.
It doesn't really sound right to me.
I know, and that's why again I thought, but even started saying like Stefan. I think that's what you call it again. Like it sounds like it's a little bit it's not as rock, I would say, as for instance like Ben Johnstone is a fucking as rock as it gets, man. Benjamin Johnstone, like you should have
Well,
long hair and leather pants, man.
I don't know. I reckon Benjamin Johnstone sounds kind of like an 18th century like poet. That's what we usually think of. But that's kind of wanky. I think if you've got the right idea, you're going to choose your own name. And I don't know. I think you can do better than Stephen. I mean,
Yeah,
at least, come on, Steve O.
we'll work on
That's
that.
done. That's been
Yeah,
taken. Yeah, we've got to work on it. We've got to work on it. Yeah.
excellent.
So,
How's everything going in lockdown, by the way? You just moved into your new house, and I know all the shit went down as we were trying to get to get everything unpacked and all that. How's
yeah,
that
yeah.
going?
Well, we're locked down, and yeah, it's livable. So yeah, better position than a lot of people in the world. So I can't really complain. Yeah, I'm feeling, it's a nice. We're really happy with the house, and yeah, we've been really lucky because we actually got in here before all this crazy shit happened. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, that's good, man. And your work, how's that going? You just got a
Work.
promotion just before we started.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, Look, my job is not it's not exciting in that sense. I love it, but it's not an exciting job. It does a lot of good for young people in the community as far as getting them jobs, getting them skills that will get them jobs and stuff like that. It's good. You make every day I go to work and I at least a couple of times a week I feel like I've made a real difference to someone's life in a long term sense. Like in that probably change their life fundamentally for the better. That's an awesome thing about it. But yeah, the day to day stuff of it is pretty like yeah, it's pretty boring, like most people's jobs. So I don't really want to talk about that.
Yeah, nah, me neither, actually. But yeah, obviously, like you and I go way back. I think you're probably the first. Oh, you're definitely my longest lasting friend. I met you back in, was it 2010 or something, or 2011 or something, when I first came to Perth. And we've been playing back, we've been playing together pretty much on and off ever since. So in saying that, actually, I thought about that just before I sat down at the computer tonight. You're actually the longest lasting bandmate I've ever had. So I've actually never been playing with someone for that long. So
So hang on, was I before or after Ash?
yeah, you were after, man. I'm sorry. So yeah,
She's
yeah,
beat
yeah,
me. She beat me.
yeah.
Yeah,
She
yeah.
she she,
I'm
she
not
beat
your
you to it.
longest. I'm not your longest term relationship by any means.
No, no, you're not. You're not. Yeah, and
No.
it'll probably be impossible to outlast that one. But you have your own. But you have your own lovely relationship. How's Malaki going?
Malika is yeah, she's yeah, she's good to work for. She's a good boss, and yeah, like she's tough but fair. Like, and I think as once she gets past 3, I hope that we'll be able to negotiate more reasonable working conditions. But yeah, right now, yeah, it's difficult. Like yeah, I'm basically her bitch. So yeah.
Yeah, good, good. That actually brings me on to one of the main things I'd like to talk to you about tonight is like you come from a very musical family. Like your brother and your dad plays music. What sort of made like how were you, how what's your first childhood memory, and how did you get introduced to music to begin with?
So that was just surrounded by it from the start, and probably the very start is that my dad played guitar and he made up stupid songs. He ran everything was a stupid song, which is a tradition that continues in our own house as still to today. Everything from if you drop the plate of cereal, it becomes a song. So there's a song about the spilt cereal. If if someone falls over, it's a song. That you make up a song about it. It's everything. Everything is a song. Just whatever it is you're doing. So it's kind of like a musical in our house. Not like Sound of Music, more like you know, like like a kind of like the Goodies or like Monty Python-esque type of musical constantly happening in our house, and that's the way it was in when I was growing up as well. And I think if you later on we might talk about Bordello a bit, and if
Yeah,
you
absolutely.
yeah if you understand what I'm saying about imagining the household you're growing up in being this wonky, weird, clunky, awkward, hilariously wrong musical the whole time, then you'll understand why Bordello turned out the way it did as well.
Yeah, yeah, good.
Yeah.
And so you've obviously been, as far as I know, you've been singing all the time. Do you actually play any other instruments? Or
No, no, no. Just do you know the bed flute?
yeah, but I don't think I want to hear anything about that one.
No, no. You don't want a demonstration live on the show? No, obviously not. No.
I think that might actually turn the 7 viewers we
That's
have at the
that's a
moment off.
Hellhammer.
So
That's a Hellhammer After Dark series. Yeah.
that is a different kind of hammer right there, man.
No, no, man. I play. I don't even. I wouldn't even say I play guitar. I play it so badly. So yeah, just I've just always been about singing and being a show off and in front of audiences. So that's really been my thing.
Yeah, good, good. Well, look, Bordello is one of those things that even I, who've known you for nearly 10 years, haven't really known. I don't really know too much about it. But the funny thing about it, we've played I don't know how many gigs over the years, and a lot of people when we actually go to the gigs, when they meet you and or when they hear that you're the singer from Bordello, they obviously know the band and know the history and all that stuff. So you guys must have made it pretty big back in the day.
I wouldn't say we made it big, but we made an impact, particularly in a few states of Australia, and at different times in different states as well. But yeah, in West Australia where we came from, yeah, we had a big following, and a lot of people still say I think for a lot of people it was the band that they back in the days before, in Perth, bands didn't tour regularly. It used to before we had that massive big stadium we've got now, which is awesome for big live acts. Big bands wouldn't come here because it wasn't economically viable. They didn't have the venue that they could play to sell enough tickets to justify the expense. So now that we've got that, we are getting big acts. We didn't used to, and so the local music scene really thrived as a result. And yeah, I think we were a band that was accessible, and a lot of local people, wanted to go and see live music. That was a thing that people used to do back in the day, kids. And yeah, it was really really popular. Like we're a fun band to go and see live, so I think that's why we had a lot of following.
Yeah. What made you a fun band to go and see live? Like, what were you guys all about?
It was initially when it started. I mean, pretty much, yeah. It was particularly all the time that we're in Perth. It was part comedy show. Like it really was a mixture of like kind of theatrical. It's a bit theatrical in this, like yeah, it had like this performance element to it. It was very much about the music. It was very
Yep.
much about and dancing. That was another thing. It was you could dance to it. All the songs. That was one of our limitations, that it was rock and you could dance to it. That was one of the things that we said. That's what we're about. And yeah, so people came out to dance, get really drunk. It was quite quite, how would you say, like, fun in a very, I don't want to say boisterous, but I don't know, just kind of yeah, very very energetic sort of vibe about the band. And yeah, everyone had went nuts, danced, got too drunk, picked up. You know, I think it's got a lot of memories associated with it for people of a certain age. So
Yeah. Well, speaking about age, how old were you back then? Because you're obviously like you're way older than me, man. You're.
yeah, thanks, mate. Thanks. Yeah, that's what I came
Yeah,
on this show for, is to be reminded of just how fucking old I
yeah,
am. Yeah,
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 yeah. An
yeah,
old fart. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Um, so I was older by a bit than most of the guys in the band, including my brother, who was very young. He was the youngest in the band, and yeah, like at the time I was about early 20s. So
Yeah.
and then yeah, up until, and I was, and we were going through for almost, what, 7 years or something, or 8 years. So yeah, up into my 30s. So yeah,
Good stuff. Yeah, that's a very very different time in life as opposed to what where we both are at now. Married, kids, and mortgage and all that. So, but
sure.
yeah. Well, I suppose yeah. So I'm sure there'd be a lot of memories and a lot of stuff back then that we by no means would we need to
Oh,
go
hey,
into
look, we
now.
got matching shirts.
But
We got matching shirts.
hey, yeah, almost.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
yeah.
good,
Well,
man. Yeah.
they're both from Target or something.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Well, that's all we can afford, and with the sort of, I suppose with all the gigs being cancelled now, it's gonna be even
It's
harder to.
lockdown, motherfuckers. We can only afford Kmart.
Yeah, and that, but even sorry, what was I about to say? Even even back in the day when you were playing and with because I know Josh, your brother was there. I remember you said you were playing for about roughly about 10 years or eight 9 years or
Yeah,
something.
yeah, 8 years, 8 9 years. Yeah.
So something I was a bit curious about. How did you guys stop? Because obviously, if you had all these, if you had success, people dancing, people were happy, you had something happening. Like what how come you broke up? I know all good
Um,
things has to come to an end, but
I think like there was a lot of factors involved, but we actually spent quite a lot of money marketing the band to try and get it played on, particularly Triple J, and we'd done that about 3 times, and eventually, um, at the time, there was really only one person at Triple J that kind of said yes or no to a band getting played, and that was Richard Kingsmill. And he said, I hate that band. And don't worry, that was not like an unusual response. We divided people incredibly. Like, there's people who loved us and got tattoos of us, of the band's logos and things like that, and there's people that just fucking hated us. Like, just absolutely fucking hated us. Who thought we were everything that was wrong with music. So, and you know, I think both those people are right. But yeah, Richard Kingsville didn't really have a great sense of humour. Um, he, just kind of, he had an idea about what music was, and it certainly wasn't what we were about, and what we thought was important. And yeah, he said we sounded too American, which we did, and but also that he said that our production was too slick, and that was probably true at the time, but it turns out that we're probably, by today's standards, we sound uh, almost underproduced compared to most rock bands these days. So, I think like it was just a thing where he was kind of being a bit of a dick, but um, in the end, that was just how it was. It was his decision about what bands got played on Triple J, and he wasn't going to play us. And so we were just like, well, what's the fucking point? Because we didn't want to be a commercial band, and we started going down that route with a deal from Sony Records that involved a producer that I didn't like, and that you know um, started making the music sound like something that I didn't see myself standing in front of and singing. And so then it was like, well, yeah, it's kind of there's nowhere for us to go in Australia. And if I was younger, if it had been like when we first started, we would have been like, fuck it, let's go to Europe or let's go to America or whatever. But I wasn't that age anymore. I was in my 30s now,
Mm.
and it was just like I'm not picking up my whole life and going to some other country and starting again in a share house and shit like that. I'm not doing it. So yeah, that was for me. That was kind of where it was over, and yeah, we just wasn't like wasn't any hard feelings or anything. It was just
Yeah,
it's run
yeah,
its course. So
yeah.
yeah, it's
So
a unique situation because you wouldn't probably understand that so much being from Europe, where there's always another market and another angle and another opportunity. You'll never run out of opportunities. In fact, even if you're the most dickhead band in the world that burnt everybody every time you dealt with them, you still wouldn't run out of bridges to burn because there's just so many things going on there. So many festivals, so many booking agents, so many things. But in Australia, it's like there was literally one person that decided who got played on the national alternative radio station. And that's what it came down to. And if that person didn't like it, well, I heard that you could suck his cock, and for a bag of cocaine and sucking his cock, you could, like, I just wasn't prepared to go there. So.
think you made the wise call on that one. But
Maybe
it,
some nights I lie awake and going, it's only one cock. Who would have cared?
yeah, I suppose again, if you are sort of looking at at the European market and stuff, yes, I'm sure there's always something some other markets that you can go to. But what I always think back on is from my own time when I was the same age, but way too long ago, 20 odd years ago. It's I think about, like, imagine if we had sort of the same opportunities as we do today, with social media, with streaming service, like what we're doing here, and stuff like that. Like you can instantly be out there. Like if you have a new
Mm.
song, like it's out there straight away. And it's like back in the day, like you had to almost, like, you have to use snail mail, and it was completely different. Like the whole environment. Um, so, and obviously Australia is a massive country. So how did you guys actually get your music out? Like, did you have any sort of, like, did you do a demo, or like how did people, how did the guy from Triple J find out that he didn't like you?
Well, I mean, it would have been the same techniques that you would have used in Europe. It would have been,
Four
you make a
tracks and
CD. Yeah, you make a CD. You go to a studio, you make a CD, you press it, you pay for it, you do the artwork. I mean, I used to do all the artwork and everything for it, and yeah, then you'd like send it out, mail it out, put it in the post, 50 bags of with a CD in it, and I'm sure you remember
oh
doing that
yeah,
in
for
the early
sure, for
days.
sure, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
big old padded backs, and
yeah,
you,
yeah.
you you get your black marker out and you write it out and you send it out, and you had a stupid press release that you had like, not
Oh,
necessarily handwritten, but it was like written on a typewriter.
I really, really hope there's no like kids who are like fucking, like fucking 18, 19 going like, listen to these old cunts. The fuck are they? But that's
What's a
how hard it was.
CD? What's a
Yeah,
CD?
what the fuck are they talking about? But
Right.
yeah, it was, it was like, and we would sit down there and post all this shit out, and yeah, we used to do crazy ass stuff, like to get attention from people and that sort of thing, like just put, spiders inside the bag and shit like that, or just like, like a dildo or whatever, just, anything, just to grab someone's attention so they'd remember, like, yeah, and then, it, that kind of, we did a lot of that stuff. We did a lot more than other bands, I think, and that helped us get out there, but it also because we were doing. I mean, the standards have changed so much. Like back in, oh, it's another thing. Like there were perhaps any millennials watching. We had this thing back in the day called credibility, and it was a big issue. I know you wouldn't even know what I'm talking about now, but like it was actually a really big issue, and like bands wouldn't like think about doing an advert or giving their song to a company to use on an advert. That would be like instant death. You would never play again. You know, no one would ever come to your gig except to piss on your car out the front or something like that. That's like, so there was all these sorts of worries that you had. You know, we kind of were like, fuck that, we don't care, and we did a lot of stuff that other bands wouldn't do to market ourselves and stick ourselves in other people's faces. We still wouldn't have sold our music to like an advert. Like we never did anything like that. We did have offers. Like no, it's not true. Sorry, we did sell some music to Rip Curl in Asia, and they market it in Asia. But we were like, but you're not going to market in Australia, are you? Whatever you do, don't use our song in Australia advertising Rip Curl. These days, bands will be sucking dick to have Rip Curl use their song. We were actually like to Rip Curl, you can't use it in Australia. We don't want people seeing that we're using our songs for marketing. That
Mm.
was what integrity actually involved back in the day. Like yeah, we're like, no, we're only going to use it in the Asian market. All right, cool, whatever, fine. It was, and we got a really good check for that. But like, yeah, it was just, it was so weird the things that you could do and you couldn't do, and you're trying to explain them these days. They actually don't make any sense. Like, I don't know if you
Yeah.
agree with me or not. Like, but what we thought of as integrity in those days was very strict, and we all looked up to bands like Tool and so on that just wouldn't compromise at all, and they wouldn't have their song on any advert whatsoever. These days, bands are falling over themselves to put their songs in adverts, but we just did a little bit more marketing than most bands. We took that a little bit further than what most bands were prepared to do, and so a lot of people thought we were like really superficial, real sellouts, all that sort
Yeah.
of thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, and maybe that annoyed the Triple J guy as well, but I don't know. But we just we were that sort of band, and a lot of the stuff we're talking about seemed to be, and a lot of stuff in the songs seemed to be quite humorous, not it was a funny band. It had a lot of jokes in the the lyrics I wrote were very like tongue in cheek and so on. So I think people put all that together and went, oh, this band's not a serious band. I can't like this band because I like real music, and so yeah, we're a
Yeah.
bit of a barrier like that. But yeah, we weren't afraid to like do anything. We'd dress up in superhero costumes and turn up. We'd crash other bands' publicity events, like a bigger band's publicity event. We'd crash it, turned up, dressed up as chickens or some shit, or whatever. Like just, like just to make a scene and get on TV. Like if MTV were filming a touring band in Perth that day, we'd make sure that we turned up and annoyed the fuck out of them, by jumping on stage at an inappropriate time while they're being interviewed. We just did all sorts of stupid shit to get noticed, and that was annoying to some people, but that's how we got our name out there.
But that's awesome. I mean, like stuff like that. It's so rare to see these days. I think it's also
Mm.
because there's way too much
Yeah,
noise. They're like
yeah.
there's like the variety. There's like 10 times as many bands out there, and everybody has a place online.
It's
Uh,
totally different now. Now it's all like you've got to get this influencer and this influencer and that person and
yeah, yeah, yeah.
that one to all send in to all like Facebook and YouTube and Instagram at the same time. And then if it all happens at the right time, then you bump up to this level of like notoriety. And hey, fucking good on you, man. Like it's a whole new game. And if
Swipe
you've got
left.
and rather yeah, if you've got the energy and the time to sit there, I mean, I already spend all day at work in front of a computer and maybe about an extra, 2 minutes having a wank. And apart from that, that's enough screen time for me. Like I haven't got time to sit there and work on promoting my band, even my fucking cover band. I just can't do it, man. I just can't be fucked. Like sitting there doing screen time to like try and get fucking attention. Fucking fuck off. Like really.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like
Well, it might be time just because you brought it up, and I'm gonna let that 2 minute wank. I'm gonna let that one slide, but we can have we can slowly transition over to the cover band, because that's obviously how I started to know you. But it's not from the Easy Tigers, which a lot of people that are probably listening or probably know you and me would know us from Easy Tigers. But I actually learned you from a band, a concept band that we started called the Bogan Rock Show.
Yeah.
Tell me a bit about that. How did that come up? What was the idea behind that? Because I remember that's how I got in contact with you, because I replied to an ad, and I think it was actually our mutual friend Cachette who was behind that ad, and I replied to him or something. But anyway, I remember I came to the rehearsal, and that was to try out for this concept Bogan Rock Show band thing.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think, look, obviously it's an idea that if you want to Google it, maybe you can put the link down for it later or whatever if people want to Google it. But it's a concept that needs to happen. There's no doubt. Like, it's just people will come out and they'll watch that. You know, like that. They're already like. I mean, there's a stupid thing called Bogan Bingo, which once I started this Bogan rock band, I started Googling to see what else was out there, and I was like, oh, there's already Bogan Bingo, and that's keeps still touring around to this day.
Yeah.
And people get dressed. I mean, you go out to an '80s night, you get dressed up as '80s or whatever. You go out to a '70s night, you get dressed up as '70s. You go out to a whatever night, and like dress up as it. But in Australia, it's a unique thing where everyone knows Bogans. We all know what it's about. We all know what the dress style is, and we all know that it has a certain culture attached to it. And yeah, it would be fun for one night to go out to, actually enjoy that and watch a really good band play the songs that Bogans love, which, if you're Australian, whether you admit it or not, most of us really love.
Yeah. Well, we actually did play a few gigs. I remember we had my old rusty shitty van that we drove to Kalgoorlie. I think it nearly shut itself halfway there. But yeah, we were out there. We did what was 2 or 3 days in a row at the hotel there. That was
yeah.
pretty intense. And
Yeah,
we also had
and it was the right place for a Bogan rock show as well, Kalgoorlie. Like it was
Kalgoorlie, the good old mining town, mining and whorehouses. But then again, we had I think it was like the premiere, the debut of the whole show at the was it the grand final night in 2012 or something like that?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
A while ago.
Well, look, I mean, the thing is that that was good. It was good, but it needed a lot of work. I think it kind of it needed a few things, and it could definitely be done again, and it definitely could be, it definitely could be finished off and got up to a finished product and toured. But neither you nor me want to really do a lot of touring. I mean, if we're going to do a tour, I don't think we necessarily. I mean, that a band like that goes around Australia constantly, the same as any big touring act, any big cover band act does. If it's a ABBA tour band or the Eagles tour band or an AC/DC tour band or whatever, it just keeps touring around, playing gigs, selling tickets. Each time you go, and then next time you come back, more people come. It's it's a great job when you're in your 20s or 30s, but when you've got young kids who are under 10, it's not really, you don't really want to be on the road 24/7. So yeah, it just wasn't right for where I was going with my life. But the concept's great. Need to find a bunch of young guys that want to go do it and have the personalities to do it.
I suppose again, I just thought of that now when you said go traveling. It sort of reminded me of our little stint off to Christmas Island. That actually sort of gives you an idea of what you could do when you are still sort of in our age, because it was such a short little trip. It was all expenses paid. It was like a little holiday for a couple of days. You were fortunate enough to be able to bring your family. Obviously having your wife being a backup singer. But But I suppose, yeah, you're right. If you were to sort of put together a full-on touring band, yeah, either you need to get paid a shitload of money, or you'd be able to actually do it where you could, in my case anyway, where you could actually bring your family. Because
Yeah, yeah.
I don't think I could be away from my wife and kids for that long.
Nah, it's. I mean, like music brings both of us a lot of happiness. Like that's why we do it. But
100%.
um,
Yeah.
yeah, and but that's it's a diminishing thing, isn't it? Like if you're away from your family for too long, the joy that you get from music is, it's like,
Yeah. Oh, it's a fine balance. Yeah.
yeah. So, you want to you need both when you get to when you get to our age. So, and our state where we are in life. So, I mean, I think booking the Easy Tigers is good because we can do occasional gigs down south and all that sort of stuff. That's great, and get take the whole family down and other random places. Christmas Island was like that, just happened because of my brother and his booking agency. But yeah, really, something like if you're going to put all the time into making a full-on concept band, which is what the Bogan Rock Show is, then all of your work is in other places.
Mm.
Like at the moment, my brother's playing in Beatles tribute act, and they get on cruise ships, and not anymore, obviously.
You hope not.
But yeah, they go all over the world doing a show here and a show there. That's fine for him. He's got no kids. But yeah, uh, at the moment for you and me, a little domestic cover band is probably it fulfills the urge that we have for live music or whatever, and
Mm.
having that needing that fix regularly. Um, but yeah, yeah, like it's not, you don't have to travel too far from home. Anything else? I don't know. I mean, I'm interested in this idea you've got about doing a world tour like that.
Yeah, yeah, that has to happen eventually. Hey, we can do it now. We can just talk to people from everywhere. We can make songs from our living room with people on the other side of the planet. But if like I think about this, I'm sure you do the same. I think about like when is all this gonna change, and what will the world look like? Like we used to have a residency. First Friday of every month we were playing the National Fremantle. What's that first gig when we come out on the other end? What's that first gig gonna look like? Is there gonna be crickets? Is it gonna be packed? Is the National gonna be shut? It's
I,
it's
I mean,
it's 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 just it's just so
I mean,
confusing. It's so
the,
unfathomable
gov-
to.
the government is going to ease restrictions that they've put on us, like that they've, advised. Um, they're going to ease those restrictions very gradually.
Mm,
But yeah, so I don't see. I mean, if they just went like, okay, we're done. You know what? This whole coronavirus thing was it was a bunch of bullshit. To be honest, SARS was much worse. But you know, uh, I don't know why we got our knickers in a twist about this one. But yeah, if they just came out and said that tomorrow, fuck, it would be off the chain. Everyone would just go nuts. It'd be like, yeah, yeah, pubs are open again. Let's go nuts. If you imagine if they just did that tomorrow, just like a sudden announcement, back to normal tomorrow, it would be fucking mental. Like everyone would go crazy. And
yep.
that would be my dream because we'd be booked out again straight away, like it would just be like back to busy as ever. But it's not going to be like that. They're going to be like, okay, yes, you can all now, like there's no like no consensual sex is okay, but it's only a hand job and you have to stand at least a meter apart or something like that. Like if you want to, you can. It's only jerking off at this stage. No actual penetration because you can't keep a meter apart while you know,
Yeah, and face
it'll be
mask or something.
gradual. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Face mask
Yeah.
and only jerking off. Then it'll be like, okay, you can leave the face mask on, but now you can do from behind, strictly doggy style, so you're not breathing on each other. Like that'll be next after that. So, yeah,
Yeah.
it's gonna be interesting, like, but gradual. Like I'd say, unfortunately, I don't think there's going to be this crazy Brazilian street party happening immediately after in Perth anyway.
No,
Um,
no, no, no.
no,
And that's again, I suppose, another thing that sort of makes me think about live music in general. Like, there's such a massive difference between, say, when we play a small pub like the Claremont, or the National, or when you have fucking sold out stadium shows. When people go to Optus Arena and there's $45,000 and it's packed. Like the whole when you are looking at this whole COVID spread thing, and how everything in regards to social distancing, like we could easily go play at the Claremont and everybody would be fine because, you play in front of like 20, 25 people and you could easily fit a couple of hundred people there. But when you go to like a
yeah,
sold out stadium show, like what's the difference going
that's
to?
interesting. Yeah, that's interesting, isn't it? Because I mean, that could mean that like it depends. I mean, because everyone's really going to be in a risk frame of mind after this for forever. Probably for
Mm,
the rest of their lives.
it'll
People are
it'll
going to
take a
think
while for sure. Yeah.
people are going to think about risk like they never have before. I mean, um, as because I work for a government department in education, um, risk is a daily thing that and as a manager, I have to think about risk every day. Like about what the consequences of each action that each person in the team takes.
Yep. Yep.
And I think the average person's mentality is kind of going to change a bit now and probably be thinking about risk in that way probably for the rest of their life. Because I mean, 6 months is long enough. 28 days is long enough to change human behaviour. 28 days
Oh,
is what the
yeah. Yeah.
psychologists say. If you want to stop this or you want to stop that, just don't do it for 28 days, and then you know your neurological pathways will have changed enough for you to now be thinking about this in a different way, and it's possible for you to now do it in a different way. And
Mm.
I think, after 6 months of this, everyone will be thinking about risk. I think all the OCD people of the world have been like, finally, finally, everyone understands what we've been talking about all this fucking time. Because we will all be like that now for the rest of our lives now, because this 6 month period where we've all had to be thinking about germs, now we're all going to be a little bit more OCD for the rest of our
Mm.
lives. Like,
Yeah.
it'll take years to get rid of this shit, this way of thinking. And I think the bigger picture of that is going to be massive, because everyone's going to have to get used to doing things online. Everyone's going to get used to thinking about risk. Everyone's going to get used to, having too much personal space, like cuddling people less, hugging people less. It's going to affect the world in so many ways, the human world in so many ways. And yeah, really, it's going to be so interesting to see what happens, man. But I think you're right in that uh, when people do start going out to gigs, they're because of their newfound sense of risk, they might be more inclined to take a punt on a local band where there's going to be maybe 50 or 60 people, maybe 100 or 200 people there, as opposed to going to a stadium where guaranteed you're going to have 30, 40, 50, 100,000 people there.
Yeah. Well,
So
you're
maybe,
gonna be jam packed. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yep.
So maybe it's going to be a boom time for, smaller bands. Could be. It's an interesting idea.
Yeah, no, well, I think that has to happen. Like, I think you will see a lot of people that, especially all the OCD people, that you will see people that will be a lot less prone to go out to these big gatherings, and who knows, they might not even allow them for a while. It might be banned for another year or so. Thing is, no one knows.
I,
That's again the interesting thing about it as well.
I reckon you're right. I reckon it's going to be, and the Australian government, they, you know, do things. They're not over the top. They haven't gone. Yeah, in like South Africa, because where my wife's from, she's next. Their country's next door to South Africa. When when they did lockdown, like in Australia, it's like, look, we'd really like you all to stop going out and mixing in big groups. We're recommending that you don't mix in bigger groups than, like in South Africa, they were just like straight out, the cops went out, they saw more than three people together, they just got the truncheons out and beat them in the head. It's like,
Yeah.
fucking go fucking home, you cunt. It's
Yeah.
like, um, so I don't think Australia's going to be like, it's never going to be a totalitarian thing, but it's going to be like, okay, I think it's all right. Let's just try everyone now. Groups no bigger than 50. All right, so groups no bigger than 50. So if that's the case, we'll be playing a lot of gigs at pubs with only 50 people. And people might have rostered their night out. It's like, well, there's no point in going out Friday night because it's just going to be packed at every place I want to go. And then the venue's going to be like, okay, well, then we'll do Thursday nights. And half the people and Australians these days, for some reason, have become so good at following instructions that they'll probably just go out on Thursday night. Be like, oh, it's my turn to go out on Thursday night and get drunk because Friday night's too busy. I don't know. Maybe that'll
But
work.
yeah, yeah, like us.
Maybe maybe we'll be
It's
working.
it's funny though, because you see this herd mentality, and it's like, and it's worldwide. Like you saw it with all
I
the
know.
stupid fucking toilet paper and rice and pasta and all that crap. But could you imagine if it was the same here? If having to go back out and starting to get drunk and stuff. Oh, these guys getting drunk, man. We should
Dude,
all go
I
out.
think I think if the government did something like say, okay, if your name starts with B or D or Z or X, you can go out and get drunk on Thursday night.
Yeah,
Fucking everyone would be so happy because they would be like, oh, I'm meeting all these new people I never met before. And the pubs would be like, oh, fuck, we're making all this money. Like fucking on every night of the week, not just Thursday and Friday. And it's like less crowd control. And it's like there's just the right amount of people. And the bands would be like, we're working every fucking night. We fucking have to have a day job. Yeah, like fucking fuck the day job. Like,
yeah.
hey, shit,
But yeah,
this shit could work. Yeah.
it's gonna be interesting for sure. Like it'll be a new world order, a new day order scheduled for everybody, not just bands to follow. I've got another quick one for you here as well. Obviously now everybody's at home. You have to stay at home. Both you and Refil are very musical people as well. Are you gonna try and do some music with Malika? Or how are you spending your time together?
Well, like none of us are musicians, and that's like difficult because like you know trying to teach. I know a little bit of guitar, but the guitar is way too hard for a 3-year-old. You know, she plays on the piano. We've got a piano there, which I can't play, and like she plays on it all the time because she just loves the sound of it. But yeah, I can't teach her anything, and she's a little bit too young yet to like watch YouTube and learn off it consistently. Like she does watch a few things that I put on YouTube for her, but kids learn from you being immersed in it, not from watching some shit on YouTube. So,
Hmm.
but I can't immerse her in it because I can't play it. But yeah, like there's no actual instrumentation, but there is non-stop singing. As I said, our house it's
That's
like the
music too,
living
man.
room. Yeah, it's musical.
Yep,
It's just
yep.
non-stop singing the whole time. Everything's singing. She sings like 50% of the day, and that's including that's obviously like if you like okay, she sings 70% of the time she's awake. Like everything that she's doing, and I don't know if that's normal because I've only got one kid, but like she sings 70% of the time that she's awake. Like she just whatever she's doing, she's singing a song about it while she's doing it. That's what she
That's
does.
awesome, man. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
So yeah, it's also because she doesn't have any brothers and sisters. So I think if she had a brother and sister, she'd be trying to interact with them or whatever. But it's quite lonely for her, and I'm really worried about that right now because normally she has daycare and she has her cousins that she can play with and stuff. But yeah, right now she's got no one. So
So what are you guys
that's
doing? So are you guys doing anything to sort of trying to circumvent that? Do you FaceTime a lot or?
we've got a crazy time. We've got a crazy plan where we're going to, try to like self isolate for. No, no, really, that's it, man. We're just trying to self isolate. So, like, what the fuck, what can you do? Like, I mean, um, yeah, I mean, we. I'd love her to be playing with someone, but what can I do? I just don't know, man. Like, you know,
Yeah, yeah.
like FaceTime,
It's a tough
FaceTime's
one.
not the same as FaceTime's not the same as playing, man.
No, 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 no. Especially not when you're that age. Especially not when you
Absolutely
when
not.
you're three, man.
It's really the biggest concern that I have in my life at the moment. That's
Yeah.
the thing that I am the most worried about. I mean, you've got three kids now, so like, yeah, you know, they've got other people to interact with, you know, like other
Mm.
kids to interact with. You know, I
Yep.
mean, all she's surrounded by is two parents, and half the time, you know, most of the time I'm working from home. Way has to keep the house running. You know, she cracks it. You know, she goes like, "No one's playing with me," and I'm like, "That sucks."
You can
I got nothing. I got
teach
nothing to
her.
say with that.
You
Yeah.
can teach her how to do the dishes, man.
Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah. I mean,
How about
that
how about some YouTube classes? Learn how to play, I don't know, piano or guitar, or something.
yeah. I don't know. It's hard because she's exceptionally creative and she's very good at coming up with games by herself and she's developing a lot of imaginary friends and I just don't know whether that's a good thing or not. But she's just got like a stack of imaginary friends right now that she, you know, in lieu of having real friends to play with, she's talking to these imaginary friends. And I'm like, imaginary friends or screen time? Which one's like the lesser evil? You know, I mean, I know imaginary friends are good up to a certain point, but yeah, then after a certain point, I mean, it's turning to fucking Bad Boy Bubby here. Have you fucking ever seen that film?
No, I have not.
Okay. Next time I talk to you, you need to have seen Bad Boy Bubby. Okay,
Okay.
that's your homework.
All right.
I'm not.
All right.
I'm not fucking
Oh,
joking, bro. You need,
you gotta send it. You gotta send it through to me, brother. Gotta send me a link or some shit. I'll watch it. I'll watch it.
dude. You
What
have
is
to
it?
see Bad Boy Bubby.
I suppose I'll work that out. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And then you watch it, then you tell me what the fuck it is, okay? Because I don't know. All right, but it is the best Australian film ever made.
Nah, that would be the castle.
Yeah. You haven't seen Bad Boy Bubby yet.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair call, man. I'll have a look at. I'll have a look at it for sure. Look, dude, man, we need to do something, man, because obviously we're sitting here. This will probably last for. I think I saw in the news today it was going to be at least another 4 weeks until they're gonna thinking about easing the restrictions. Um, can you
Maybe
record
6 months.
Can you record anything at home at all, or what's your
I can
setup,
record. I can record myself masturbating on my
dude?
speaker that's
Say
in my
no more.
computer.
Say no more. We'll put that out in full Dolby surround sound and get the
Yeah,
good some reverb in that.
yeah,
Look, dude,
yeah.
if you can do
I've
anything at
got
all,
great
man,
rhythm.
we
I've
should.
got great rhythm, man. I'd like really. You'll be able to like build a track around that rhythm. It's so solid. You'll have to loop it back because it only goes for like about I
Two
don't know 20
minutes.
seconds. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, thank you. Oh, you think very highly of me. I appreciate that. Yeah.
Well, yeah, we'll see. But if you can give me 20 seconds of the meat hammer or whatever you call it before the. Well, we'll have a look at that, man. Uh,
I thought that was your name, Steve Meathammer.
yeah, that's it. Ben Johnstone. So, dude, one of the last things I wanted to talk to you about. You're obviously you have been at least quite vocal on social media about a lot of all the stuff that's been happening. Like you are a sharer. You share a lot of stuff. Um, is this? I've actually never looked into it. Is your profile? Is it a private profile or have you got anything open as
No,
well?
no.
Just in case there's anyone who actually would want to find out a
Oh,
bit
no,
more about you.
I leave it open to everyone, and then I try to drive them away. That's my social media philosophy.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's good.
Mm.
So get them in to scare
I
them
drive
out.
them away. Yeah, exactly. I drive them away by, caring about what's actually important in society, which is, who the fuck is in control of your government, like who you're voting for, what what you get in exchange for your vote, these sorts of things. Yeah, which is boring stuff that most people go, oh my god, I fucking liked you and I followed you on Facebook because you played at my wedding or you played at my son's wedding or and you were fun and it looked like someone that I'd like to hang out with or whatever. And then I'm just like, no, no, here's what's actually going on in your life, cunt.
That's good, man. So people can actually follow you, or
Yeah, yeah. But you will get a
is
lot of political shit that you don't want to see, all right? I'm just warning you right now. Okay?
I suppose is that the drink you drink to get all your imaginary friends out, or what was that?
Yeah, yeah, yes.
What's it?
Well,
Yeah,
this actually, like, there's a lot of
this
imaginary friends in this drink. This
yeah.
is tequila and iced tea, and I found that not many people drink this, and I don't know why. I highly recommend tequila and iced tea. Now, when you make the iced tea, I'm not talking about the shit you buy, Lipton's crap from the fridge or anything like that. You have to make your own iced tea. So you have to brew tea in a jug. Then you've got to and like let it brew properly, chill, throw in a bit of fruit for flavour. Could be peach or lemon or whatever you want, or peach and lemon. Put it in the fridge, let it chill, and at that point I mix like maybe a couple of teaspoons of sugar or a couple of tablespoons of sugar because I do a whole jug, and then that's your iced tea. Then to that you should add some tequila, good quality tequila. It is there's no fizz, and I've never understood why as an adult you need to drink a fizzy drink. I stopped drinking fizzy drinks when I was 12, so just it's beautiful. Iced tea and tequila, highly
Or you can
recommend it.
or you can do it like we did at Christmas Island. Iced tea and vodka for breakfast, man. That's oh, that was strange times, man.
I don't know. For me it was a reminder of the way I lived for 10 years of my life. And that might be a good segue into the final song for the evening.
Yeah,
Let's
good,
just
good.
yeah, this is how I lived. I mean, literally, we did for 10 years of our lives. We were at minimum, we would wake up and start drinking, if not taking some sort of substance. And that's just how we were living. It was I I don't know. It is what it is. I don't know whether it was a good life or a bad life, but that's how we rolled in Bordello.
And you're older and wiser, and all the shit you would do different if you could now. Hey,
Yeah, but also part of the reason I'm not doing it is because I actually couldn't physically do it. It took the strength of 10 men to do the shit that we used to do. And
yep.
I didn't realize that at the time. Like I really was, my immune system and my fucking physical strength and my stamina and my energy was a little bit supernatural. And that's why I could do all the things that I did. Now I feel like I'm almost like a normal human being. I just really can only survive. I need 8 hours sleep a day.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, so
That's it,
yeah.
man.
So this is a song from when I was younger and crazier.
Oh yeah, so we can round off and grab the last. And I'll play that song from Bordello first, but I just wanted to see there was a couple of comments coming in here. We're just gonna quickly have a look and see who's watching here. We got John O'Donnell who's just saying sheep. I don't know if it's someone you're familiar with.
Yeah, John
uh,
would be take. John will always be taking the piss. That's what he does.
so and Daniel Lowe says that I miss you all, Ben. That's nice, man.
That's nice.
Says he loves the interview, so you can get a lot of restreams of this. And John also says no regrets. Hashtag, man. So that is awesome, dude. Look, thank you so much, man. I will look forward to having another chat with you shortly, and we'll get our good friend the Mexican to hopefully join us and have a night of just talking shit. I think we could all use that now that we don't have our at least monthly residencies at the national. Have you got any last words? Anything you'd wanna throw out there on the internet? Any wise words? Oh, I think we've lost the
No,
sound. Oh,
I'm
there
here,
we go.
man. I'm here. Yeah. No. I now didn't have any wise words to start with. All right. So yeah, just next time ask me more questions about Bordello, because I think that's why the only two people that came to listen, only came to listen about Bordello, and we didn't ask any questions about Bordello. So,
That's that's cool. Well, let's finish off on Bordello then. This is a song called Y Front, and you said it was about your life back then.
it just yeah, it is actually. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. Well, look, I will just quickly just do the whole subscribe, like, and share, and all that crap, and just make sure that we have that on here once again. And then look, Ben, thank you so much for coming, and I will play the song now, and I will talk to you very very soon. Take it easy, man.
Adios, bro.
All right, cheers, dude.
Thanks so much for tuning in or listening along to the show. If you like the show, please don't forget to leave a 5-star review and subscribe to my social channels. It doesn't cost you anything, but it greatly helps me to build my networks and my chances of getting sponsors to keep this show running. If you want to take it to the next level, please head over to patreon.com/Stephen Helhammer and become a patron by joining the exclusive community there. You can start from as little as $3 per month. And for just a little extra, you get access to some fantastic features, outtakes, behind the scenes stuff, and much, much more. That's less than the cost of a cup of coffee per month. And that way you can help me build better content. I can devote more time to find awesome guests and just generally just keep everything flowing. If you want to be on the show or subscribe to my mailing list, send an email to steven@helhammer.com, and that is HELhammer.com. That way I can start sending you exclusive invites, random stuff, and messages that, who knows, you might enjoy. So that's it. Have a rocking day ahead, guys, and I will see you on the live stream or in your headphones very soon. Take it easy.